Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's Blanco the Slum, and in today's video, we got a really exciting one talking about buffs to two businesses that became really good with the Money Fronts DLC that Rockstar recently has put out. Technically, it's three businesses, but we're mostly going to be talking about two. I'll briefly mention the third one, but of course, the two businesses I'm referring to are the Counterfeit Cash Factory and, of course, the Weed Farm. Both of these businesses got significantly better with this Money Fronts DLC, and in today's video we're just going to be going over certain specifics on why you should own this business and just exactly how much better it got after the recent buffs, and definitely why you want to own these businesses and how to own them as well. And we'll get into sales missions and all that stuff as well. But before we get into the video, of course, take 1 second of your time, hit that like and subscribe button. It only takes 1 second and it helps the video perform extremely better, and of course the channel as well. Helps it in the YouTube algorithm and all that good stuff. So definitely hit that like and sub, turn the bell notifications on as well, as I do make consistent GTA content and you want to keep up with the uploads. But as I said, man, these businesses got really big buffs with the Money Fronts DLC. Of course, the Money Fronts DLC itself came out with three businesses, and those three businesses directly link to these businesses that we're going to talk about today, being Counterfeit Cash and the Weed Farm. Again, man, big buffs. And also recently, all the MC businesses, which Counterfeit Cash and Weed Farm are MC businesses, they removed the postal van delivery mission. So that's also a buff if you want to consider it that way. But the three businesses that the Money Fronts DLC did come with, of course, are going to be the car wash, the smoke shop dispensary, and the heli tours. The car wash is going to buff your Counterfeit Cash Factory by 35%. The weed dispensary will buff your Weed Farm by 35%, and the heli tours business will buff your hangar by 10% on all sale missions across the board for all three of these businesses. Now, again, the reason we're talking about Counterfeit Cash and the Weed Farm today is because these got a more significant buff at 35% compared to the heli tours giving the hangar a 10% buff. Like, a 10% buff is decent, but definitely get yourself the arcade and the weed shop, because the 35% buff to the Weed Farm and the Counterfeit Cash Factory pretty much transformed it from like a D tier business on both of them to pretty much like A tier. Like, they're still not the best businesses in the game, but they're a lot better, man. Like the Weed Farm and the Counterfeit Cash Factory both make significantly more money now. 35% is a really big jump. It's literally 1/3 just added onto the top of what it was already making. So definitely go out there and get yourself the three new businesses that did drop with the Money Fronts DLC. I do have a video reviewing those. If you haven't checked it out, I suggest you go do so. I do have a video reviewing these three businesses and explaining how they work, so we're not going to do that too much in this video. Just know that owning these three businesses will buff your Counterfeit Cash Factory, your Weed Farm, and your hangar. So definitely get all three of these. They only cost about 2.5 million altogether, so there's really no reason you shouldn't own all three of them. But speaking of businesses, of course, in order to access the Counterfeit Factory and, of course, the Weed Farm, you will need to own an MC Clubhouse. Now, most of you probably have a Clubhouse already, but for those of you who don't, I am going to show really quick. If you just put the filter on Clubhouses, you can see there's a few throughout Los Santos and also some up there in Blaine County. There is one in Blaine County that is free, which is this one right here, which is the one that I have. To be honest, I would just go with that one because you're not going to use this business much. You just need it pretty much as like a hub to be able to access the Counterfeit Cash and the Weed Farm. So to be honest with you, I would say, get a Clubhouse that's the cheapest. Don't really care too much about location and stuff like that. Now, once you get your Clubhouse all situated and set up, you will be able to register as an MC president. Now, once you are an MC president, of course, you can purchase multiple different kinds of businesses with your MC club. But for this video's purpose and just for the buff, it only includes the Weed Farm and the Counterfeit Cash. Unfortunately, the Coke lockup and the, forgement document office and stuff like that didn't get a buff. It's just the Counterfeit Cash and the Weed Farm. So feel free to just purchase those two if you just want to follow, the ones that got a buff. If you're interested in the other businesses, by all means, you can go ahead and get them. But again, we're just talking about the buffs in particular, and that is just the Counterfeit Cash and the Weed Farm. Now, both of these got 35% buffs, which essentially took it from the Weed Farm getting you about, I want to say like 273,000 or something like that to like 480K. Same thing with counterfeit cash. You see, you go to sell stock. It used to be like 290. Now it was like 300. Now it's like 496. So a really good buff, man. It basically took this business from getting you around 300K for a full supply to just under $500,000. It's really not bad. And on top of the fact, you add the fact that they've removed the, postal op van, sale missions. Really, really big buff. So both of those things working in cohesion really made this business, a much more, powerful business, much higher on the tier list. I personally think it probably went from like a D tier to like an A. I still can't, I don't think it's S. I think there's still a lot of other businesses that are S over these two, but I think they're both like solid, lower A tier businesses. They're really cheap. They're easy to run. It's passive income. You just have to keep buying the supplies. So of course, all of this is not profit, but you can also get the supplies for free through stash houses. And the key to that is just make sure that your weed farm and your counterfeit cash businesses are your only two businesses with empty supplies. And then every time you do the stash house, it will automatically supply just these two businesses if they're the only two businesses that don't have any supplies. Because again, if you have any sort of supplies, the stash house will not go towards that business. So anyway, with that being said, again, you can see the big profit boost in the weed farm. Again, it went from like 260 or something like that, 280 to like 425. So counterfeit cash is now the second best MC Clubhouse business. Before, it was always coke lockup. Then it was the, the meth. Then it was counterfeit cash and stuff like that. But now counterfeit cash is actually worth more than the meth. So that's something to keep in mind. Counterfeit cash is the second best MC Clubhouse business right after the cocaine lockup. Kind of crazy to say that out loud in 2025. I honestly never in my life thought the MC Clubhouse businesses were going to get buffs. Not only did they get sale mission, bonus buffs, but also we don't have to deal with those postal op van sale missions. So as you'll see, I'll start up a sale mission here, just have some background gameplay while I ramble a little bit, right? But so the different sale missions for these MC Clubhouses are, there's a few different ones. You got ones where you have a few vehicles. If you get lucky, you'll have, ones where you'll have just one sale vehicle, but those do spawn in rarely. If you want to increase your chance of getting the easier ones, my suggestion is park a bigger vehicle somewhere close to the business. This tends to eliminate the chances of getting a sale mission with a bunch of vehicles parked outside. This is going to look pretty funny. I got it on like times 10 speed. The sale missions are very tedious, to be honest with you. Like I ran this one and it took me quite a while. Thankfully, they increased the timer on these. That's another buff that the MC Clubhouse has got about a year back now. They did increase the total time that you have to complete these missions. You got, like you saw, it gave me like 40 minutes or something total, 45 minutes, something like that, or 42 minutes. I'm not 100% sure, but it's a little over 40. I had a complete fail right there. As you see, we're just going to act like we didn't see that. But just make sure you have like an oppressor or a helicopter that can take you back and forth if you do get one of the sale missions with multiple vehicles. You really don't want to be driving back and forth. That would not be an ideal way to spend your time. You definitely want to make sure you have a helicopter or oppressor before doing any of these business sale missions, because a lot of them are going to require you using multiple vehicles, and you're going to need to be able to call upon those vehicles to get you back and forth. You know what I'm saying? So again, the sale missions are a little tedious. They do take quite some time, which is the biggest reason I can't put these businesses in like S tier, because you got businesses like the bunker, like the agency, like the nightclub that just quite frankly make you so much more money per hour, usually like about double per hour than these businesses will. Plus the sale missions are a lot easier. Like I said, these can take quite a while. So be prepared to, do these for at least like 20-25 minutes. And then on top of that, also keep in mind, I am in an invite only session due to the fact that with these MC Clubhouse sale missions, they do take quite a while, as we've been talking about. So you really don't want to do these in a public session. But of course, you could take those numbers and just add 50% to it for the public session bonus. If you sell in a full session of 25 people or more, you will get a 50% bonus, potentially raising the counterfeit cash profit from 496,000 to about around 720K, 720,000. So honestly, if you can get the sale off in a public sale, with the public sale bonus, the high demand bonus, whatever you want to call it, if you can get the sale mission off in a public lobby with 25 or more people, honestly, I guess it kind of starts leaning more towards like a S tier business, making you about 700K for one sale. That's really not that bad. That's actually really solid. But if you're selling in an invite only, it's definitely more like A, maybe high B tier. Me personally, I would always sell these in an invite only because the extra 200K is really not worth losing it all, in my opinion. Unless you got some homies with you that could watch you or help you with the other sale vehicles, I would definitely not recommend doing this in a public session. But anyway, guys, that actually does bring us to the end of this video. I hope you guys are enjoying the new DLC. I am. It's pretty dope overall. I think it's been pretty good. Definitely got to tip my hat to Rockstar. I did not expect them to be buffing businesses and stuff like that in 2025. So that was actually a pretty unique surprise. The hanger, like I said, do keep in mind the hanger also has a 10% buff to the sale bonuses if you own the Heli Tours. But I didn't feel the need to go too much into that one because the other two businesses are 35% compared to 10%, right? But anyway, hit that like and sub. It only takes 1 second of your time. And of course, turn the bell notifications on so you can stay up to date with all uploads. I do make consistent GTA content, so if that is something you are interested in, definitely hit that like and sub. Join the Slime Squad. We are keeping this thing rolling all the way to GTA 6. And until the next video, peace out, boys.